Nah, stick together, stay humble, keep our eye on the prize, watch where the wind's blowing, watch where our landmarks are. We're in the channel. We don't want to drift. We want to be right in position for that one wave, right? That traveled thousands of miles right to that reef. So you're the one to get it. And you got the relationships around you going, go, go, go.
Soy paso Kolohe Juice. Hey, bagay is good, Oh, honey girl. It's good to the last drop, 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 to the last drop.
Miss Gardy. 3, 2, 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have on the call one of our own personal sifu guru that we've always looked up to growing up. One of the cornerstone members of what Kolohe Juice is now. Our founding father, Unko Anson. Uncle Anson was the one who pretty much introduced us to bodyboarding, right?
Yeah. The water, ocean.
The ocean in general. So that was a crucial, I would say I was about 12 when I started hanging out with you guys. Uncle Anson used to pick us up in the van, the creepy white van. And used to take all the boys and we used to just pile in there with our bodyboards and our fins and everything and go to the beach. He showed us how to, the right ways to deal with the ocean, and mostly just gave us access. I think most importantly, and I think from there is where our friendship and our relationship really stemmed from. And then throughout these years, he's still the kind of word of wisdom. When we're looking for some wisdom. What's up, Uncle Anson? Say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody! Wow, what an introduction! I didn't realize the impact I had because I was lonely back in the day, looking for some friends to go. But yeah, we're Ohana definitely.
Yeah, you decided to start taking us out to the beach. Well, how was that for you? Like, what was your perspective on all that?
Yeah, it's a little bit of background. So, Justin Jake, of course, has a father, and their father is my brother. He was by blood a half brother, but by no means a half brother. Definitely a big brother, a father figure to someone I looked up to. I'm getting accolades for introducing you guys to the ocean, but it was really your father, Craig, who taught me about life, its challenges, highs and lows, and we walked together for many years. And it was kind of a flip position because we were probably 7-8 years apart, and I was always the little brother cruising around. But when I was 12 years old, I became an uncle to Justin and Jacob. They were born. I remember looking out the window at the stars, believe it or not, when I was 12, and I couldn't that I was going to be an uncle, not only of one human being, but of two. And twins do run in our family, and so it was no, not really a huge surprise, but more of a blessing. And as Justin Jay got older, the more kind of like brothers than uncles and nephews. And philosophy was be kind, serve others, lead with aloha. Aloha is not a weakness. It's more of a hard path to walk with that grace and that love in your heart, but don't be weak, And as they got older, that's where you came in, Dave. We are Ohana as well. So, not just calabash or by, tight circles, but truly family as we've all walked together. So, yeah, growing up, I love the beach. I love the ocean. The ocean taught me a lot on how to be humble, but confident, how to be in control, but not in control. And it also helped me grow faith where, to believe in myself and believe that, you know, the scariest things in life are sometimes the most exhilarating. You know, which of course are like the barrels and the waves, and now we talk about in the channel. But yeah, that's kind of how it all started, man. And I wanted to go to the beach. You guys wanted the beach. I had a car.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
Just all in the plan.
Yeah. And it was also like we could always say, oh, you know, when our grandparents or my grandparents or parents would say, you know, because they always want us to have some kind of supervision, we could always say, oh, Uncle Anson's taking us. So it's kind of a cheat code.
I just hope that around most of the times when you use that excuse.
that part. Yeah, so now we're growing up now, and you've been helping us with the business a lot, you know, because you've had your own businesses. What were some of the businesses that you've had or that you've tried?
Yeah. You know, I've been lucky because my father had a entrepreneurial mindset. And you know, entrepreneurial, that word comes with a lot of weight. Sometimes it comes with more limelight and fame than it can bear. It's really like an iceberg where, you know, everyone sees that pinnacle, but below it, you know, 10 times larger than what is broken the surface of the ocean. My father was in the fast food industry, in the distribution industry, in the sales industry. So I grew up around that. Some businesses I owned like a sign company to make stickers and banners. I did that in my young 20s. We opened a franchise, a bakery as well, a 24-hour operation. And now we're dabbling in real estate. I'm in real estate professionally. But, you know, always looking for a way to spend more time, you know, with my purpose. And I think that's what we're all on a search for. The tricky parts are sometimes it's easy, but it's complicated. It's gotten easier because of technology, but it's gotten harder because there's a lot of competition and it gets really complicated and you don't really see all the pieces. You really only see the end result. There might be 10 winning, but 10,000 losing. You know, the differences between the winning and the losing is sometimes luck, but most times it's hard work, it's focus, it's planning, and it's a dying passion to help other people. So, you know, that's kind of where I've learned, and I want to give you the hack and whoever's listening, the hack to see someone break through and reach our goal. Even if I don't reach it, I want someone to reach it. So that's kind of where it comes from.
Yeah. Well, you're always like definitely one of our main advisors, right? Like Jacob just called you the other day just to chop it up. And anytime we have kind of like hardships with the company, I feel like we definitely always make our first call to you.
What did you with mental health?
Yeah, mental. So you started the what did we call it?
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron, and you really initiated that. What was your inspiration for that?
You know, that's a good question. You know, outside of the business, our main business is family. You know, the cliche, you know, you'll hear is, you know, I was lost and now I'm found. And I've been lost many times over, more than I can't even believe I've actually been able to make it through without the darkness taking over my light, you know. But it was with the help of others that kind of pulled me in, saw potential, invested in me, gave grace to me and saw something, and they poured into me. And that, you know, when I looked at what the journey you guys are going through, I mean, so talented, so hardworking, so creative. You know, you three have an energy that is very contagious, and it's a strong energy, and it's three different energies, right? We're not built the same, but together, you guys are very powerful. And you know, I really wanted to give you guys some of these, you know, point out the speed bumps, point out the potholes out there, to get you there faster. You know, get you there faster. But yeah, iron sharpens iron. It really, the intention was to really develop us individually, right? These days, easy to blame, easy to point fingers. The hardest thing to do is to reflect and see what you can do, because only really you're in control of yourself. We're not in control of anything, right? So it was really character development that I needed to do, and I needed to do it with some brothers. I'm blessed with three right here on the screen. So, you know, I know Justin, he had some things, he had, you know, some challenges. Jacob's got some challenges. Dave, you too, myself, and really putting those challenges on the table and and listening to each other so we could kind of understand on how to live with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And just to clarify, the Iron Sharpens Iron was basically just a group chat essentially at its initial. And then we started doing weekly Zoom calls just like this. In which case we would just talk about whatever we're going through, and it always came back around to business and how the business is, but definitely hit us, you know, how are we doing emotionally, how are we doing mentally. I mean, I know we definitely went deep into some of those topics over the time, which maybe we'll go into later on in the future episodes, but yeah, I feel like that got us through some hard times.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what even came about us trying to create this podcast, is just like thinking
pretty
of those
much.
times.
That's another cornerstone piece for Uncle Anson too, because that those conversations stirred us into having the confidence and the more of the idea and the motivation to be like, no, we can create a platform to discuss these things as well as the business, you know, with the business as the forefront, but also to start getting more into like the deeper parts of, I guess, running a business. We want to always keep that as the main core, but you know, just as being humans. I guess that's human.
And we all kind of go through the same things, or like everyone has a thing that they're dealing with, and hopefully we can try to help.
And how do we help each other do that? Yeah,
in a judgment-free zone.
Yeah. And we just crack jokes at each other afterwards.
Well, you know, if I can jump in real quick and add, you know, as I get older, you get humbler. They say you get wiser. You know, hopefully that's the case. But you know, we can do so much together, but yet we're built so differently, and we've been through different things, and we perceive different things. And you know, business is like family. You know, the weakest link, in a sense, we have to address, and it doesn't mean that someone's better or worse. It's just a vulnerable area. If we can get ahead of it, pull it out, you know, stronger will the foundation be, you know, because the world is really out there to break us apart. I believe it doesn't want this camaraderie. It doesn't want this warriorship, you know, because the world knows that men that are aligned and men that are humble and men that can agree to disagree but yet stick together is a powerful force. Yeah. So iron sharpens iron, man. You know, it's not easy, right? You gotta pound that thing and you gotta sharpen it, but it's intentional, right? It's intentional, and so will our results. It will show hard work, you know.
Yeah, and it's showing in our podcast now. So, how do you feel about when did you first find out about Kolohe Juice, and what was your first opinion about it?
Yeah, this is when you throw in one of those.
Yeah.
You know, again, as you get older, you have more perspective, more experience, and you try not to make the same mistakes more than once. And then when you start to look at business, because now when you're older, like myself, time is of an essence. Time is the asset, and anything to make things more efficient, to get to the same result or a better result, is kind of that lens I have. But it can be a fault too, because I'll write things off. So when I first heard about Kolohe, I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, alcohol space, I was thinking, whoa, big space. You know, very, very big space, and there's a lot of things out there around alcohol that are unseen and hard to get through, more than I even know. Distribution, cost, you know, I think about shipping. I know profit margins times units equals revenue, and I just imagine selling a lot of it, you know. And the resources, no one's really naturally blessed with the resources of starting a drink company, right? But to my surprise, you know, sometimes I think some of my shortcomings on seeing where the business could go, you guys looked at those things and you found a win-win solution. You know, you turned an idea into words, and words into reality, and recipes into personalities, and then a feeling, you know, of fun, adventure, and it's coming from Aloha. It's coming to share, because I know you guys miss home. You know, LA is cool, but you guys are sacrificing a lot being in LA, trying to share the Aloha. So there's a purpose as well. And just those intangibles that you can't teach has taken Kolohe, the idea that I wasn't into where it is today. And I think it's pretty phenomenal.
And how do you feel about Kolohe Juice more or less now? Like, as opposed to then?
You know, I want some. I'm like, where can I get some? Like, I'm back at home, man. You guys gotta, we gotta get this thing out there. Now, you know what? I love it because it's positive. I love it because I see people enjoying it. I see you folks being the stewards of a good light. And that's why I believe it's been so successful. On top of the marketing you guys are capable of doing, I think there's a bright future for Kolohe. I think we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and we're going to have to get dirty. We're going to probably have to work harder. We're going to have to make our goals even bigger. If you shoot for the stars, you'll hit the moon, right? They say. Yeah. And I think right now that's the time, because you guys have introduced such a nice space that people are going to want to copy.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that, but
lottery, right?
You can't copy Kolohe.
Hey.
Yeah. Kolohe is Kolohe, but we just got to let it be known more. And I think you did a good job. Yeah. How about maybe I can ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
So, okay, well, this is great and giving me a chance to share my heart, but my true purpose, I believe, is for me to find out what's going inside of your guys' hearts, and just a little quick blurb, like, Dave, how has Kolohe affected you? Has it given faith? Has it made you more hungry? Has it made you more humble? What has Kolohe done for you?
I think all of those things that faith, humble, I think purpose is a big one. Because prior to Kolohe Juice, I feel like I have a lot of ideals and, spiritual philosophies or points of view, but I feel like Kolohe Juice, I didn't want to get into alcohol at all, at first anyways, as well, just because I thought it was out of our wheelhouse. But I think ultimately just, pursuing it with my gang and all of us, it's given me a way to tie all of those abstract things into something very tangible and rooted to day-to-day grind, day-to-day work. So that's what Kolohe Juice has been for me so far, is a vehicle to take all of everything that I've learned so far in my journey and to put it into into the world physically. I want to represent Aloha, okay, Kolohe Juice. I want to represent, we're trying to get back to the island, do something for the island, Kolohe Juice. For whatever better or worse, we could have I almost feel like we could have did any product, and it could be the success. But this is what we're working with,
And I believe that too, because you are Kolohe, right? And it really is just a recipe that you brought to life, Jacob. You've been through a lot of stuff too, as we have. And, you went from, being home in the islands and being real comfortable, like catching all the best waves at Pipe and living it up, working in Waikiki. And you gave up all that to pursue a dream and a calling. Yeah. And I know it wasn't easy. I know it wasn't easy. I know it was one of the hardest things you had to do, but you challenged yourself and you stepped out in faith and you put yourself in an uncomfortable position. Yeah. What have you learned about yourself through this journey so far?
I mean, growth. I mean, at least patience. Still working on it, but patience. Like with as a team, we're capable, not just having to do things myself, but putting myself in uncomfortable situations and knowing that I there is a light at the end and that I can do it, not have to,
No, that's good. Like you talk about interdependability. I think I made up the word like you're independent.
Yeah.
But independent. And you are each a club in the golf bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got the 7, right? We got the driver, but together you can win the game, right? each club comes out in a different fashion, but you guys are all made for the same intention. I mean, after we closed the bakery and we got smashed in 2008 or whatever it was, I try to forget about it.
It's funny that
What is that?
I have a great harvest right here at the house of bread.
Oh, Brad,
Whitney brought it back.
so much about the open market, but you went to LA, and I mean, I don't know if people know this about you, but you were living in your car. You know, there's a season when you didn't have a place to stay, and it wasn't a short season; it was a long season.
I actually talk about that, so it's not like
No, he doesn't.
Well, I don't talk about it, but I like Whitney knows about it. I always think about that time, and always think
keeps you humble.
I never want to go back to that again.
You know, sometimes the school of broke, and we've heard this before, is the best school because we don't have to be hungry. We don't have to be unclothed. We don't have to not have a roof under our head, right? We totally can, and we have the youth and the time. But I mean, from moving to LA, I don't even know how many years ago it was, to now, your vision for Kolohe, your networking with Wit. What have you learned, and what continues to drive you?
Well, I mean, just learning more about business in general. Like each one has gotten further and further, you know. So every mistake we made through all the other ones, I'm taking it and focusing it on the new one and trying to not make it again, or even be more into it. Actually, the other ones were like, okay, it's a little thing, but still kind of like dilly dabbling, doing other things. But this one, we're like, okay, the other one, I guess too, it was myself pretty much. So I'm like, now if I fail, I let other people down, versus the other one where it's like, that's just me, like, oh, I can do something else, like it's just my thing. But this one, it's like, okay, we built a team, and now the team just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So yeah, like everyone needs something to help. And so if I mess up in this, like if I don't hold my weight in this team, that they're gonna be like, it won't be as good. So, and I think us three balance each other out well based off our past experience. Like Dave has like the wisdom, that keeps us ground. I've had the hotel work experience for 12 years. So I take the knowledge of working with people at the corporations. And then Justin has like the knowledge of how to hustle and to survive, when you got nothing and you have to just make it yourself. And I think three of it makes a good team. And yeah, and living out here, obviously I like to go out, so be able to tie it in with more of a thing to bring to the table or share with others, or like, not just being someone that's going out or going to events just to show up, but to have more of a purpose is really good too.
So he's able to mix his passion, his joy with his work, and basically market Kolohe Juice verbally out and about when you're out. Yeah.
No, that's good, and I think it shows throughout all your guys' work, all your marketing. Kolohe is it has a childlike aura for me anyway. It's not childish. It's not like little kid stuff, but it's lighthearted, childlike. It's free. It's forgiving. It's a positive space. It's just not another alcoholic drink from another big company. It really has a soul. But what I too believe is that if I can think of one word that describes, you three, it's the word resilience, because people also don't know what I know that you guys have gone through individually and collectively, because I've been there the whole time, and how you've handled yourselves and how you've conquered things and how you've looked in the mirror, and how you get better every day. The word resilience really comes to mind for me and you guys individually. Like, this is talking about individually. Think about your darkest times and what you did with it. And I think that message too is a Kolohe message, because Kolohe is rascal, right? Kolohe is childlike, right? Kolohe doesn't mean your intention is bad. Kolohe is like, oops, didn't know that was bad. Having fun, right? But I'm very proud, man. So the iron sharpens iron. I hope one day that the group gets bigger. I hope you guys open your own groups, because it is the mind, the body, and the soul that we got to focus on. And I preach it all day, but I need to preach it to myself too, and I need to do it, and I need to do it with others. And you guys have been the ones.
Yeah, what a ripple effect of everything since day one. Just thinking about it.
But maybe like a message of inspiration. I think that you guys are into that, right? Like we're scratching every day to keep it together and progressing, but it's a constant grind. There's no time to just sit there in the channel, right? The tide's gonna pull you out. Like you've got to be paying attention, right? To your landmarks, to the wind. I mean, this is Hawaiian, bro, right? You got to be paying attention. I don't know if that's the kind of thing, because that's my intention for iron versus, sharpens iron, is like, dude, we're warriors, bro, and we always are prepared.
Yeah.
We have to be.
You said it yes, or that when I taught, like, life doesn't owe us anything,
Yeah. Like if you have a season where it's just like easy peasy cruising by cherry, then something's not cherry, actually. You know what I mean? Like you've adopted some mindset that is telling you you're doing good, relax. So you're just on the sideline now.
Yeah.
You're not training, you're not dieting, you're not pushing, you're not grinding, you're not sharpening, right? So, I mean,
so if we're not improving, like if we're not growing, if there's no growth, I mean,
yeah,
obviously plateaus are part of growth too sometimes. But if everything's too easy, then it's
or if you're just comfortable with it. You think you want, like, oh, this is good enough.
Right.
Contentment is not now. And even, I mean, the world moves so much. Contentment is almost impossible, because you'll see contentment in people that don't want change, but everything's changing, bro, like so fast. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to kind of talk about that kind of stuff, but
so Uncle Anson, on the way out, as you know, we're running out of time now. What are some words of wisdom maybe you might just give in the classic Uncle Anson way?
I'm so lucky to have fans. I've got 3 of them right here, man. That's all I need. You know what? I don't know how we got here, and I don't know how I got to this point where you folks feel that I'm so full of knowledge, but I do know that it comes from humility, and it comes from something that I practice. Like Jacob said, patience. I'm not patient. I constantly practice patience. I'm constantly searching for purpose. I'm constantly searching for, like, I know there's more, but am I fulfilling that more? Am I really in the lane I'm supposed to be? And, every time I have these conversations with you guys, I feel fed. I can go sell houses and do this and make some that, but I come home and I'm still like, dude, there's something more. It's like an unrest. But when I have my meetings with you guys and we talk, I feel fulfilled. So, maybe it's just constantly staying close, constantly challenging each other to get better, doing the hard thing, not doing the easy thing, inspiring others around us that life's going to happen, but with the right mindset, with the right people, with the right faith, with the right resilience, we're going to get, well, it's not a destination, right? It's a journey, right? So, stick together, stay humble, keep our eye on the prize, watch where the wind's blowing, watch where our landmarks are. We're in the channel. We don't want to drift. We want to be right in position for that one wave, right? That traveled thousands of miles right to that reef. So you're the one to get it. And you got the relationships around you going, go, 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 not ho, ho, ho.
That's what we got.
Yeah, that's a good shit, like always. Cool. Well, thanks for, of course, hopping on the call with us, Uncle.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks,
yeah, you're right. There's always like a connection. Every time we chat it up, it always feels like bring us back home. We appreciate you. With that said, much aloha to everybody watching. Adios.
Love you guys.